Alright, here we go. Let me see what's going on with on YouTube, and then I'll get back to y'all. All right. Hopefully, we get some people in here. Let me give it a couple of seconds, and while I'm waiting, I'm gonna let people know that we're live. I'm gonna let people know that we are live. I don't know, something's going on with my poll for Oh, there you go. Yeah, let me let people know that we are live. Um, um, Hopefully it doesn't double post. That's how I got my other account banned. That's how I got my other account banned. Twitter, please give me back my other account. I got too many people that I built that account up from nothing. Just took my account. No warning, no nothing. Just took the account. It's suspended, so hopefully I can get it back. Yeah, it's trying to double post again. That ain't going down. It's not happening. Not today. Yeah, let me get two more. At least I'm gonna get the 5 minute mark, and then I'm gonna get this show started. Get some people in here, or y'all just hear later. Let me get my shout out early. Shout out to Don D205. You can catch him at 12:22 a.m. on Twitch. Support him on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram is Don D205 TV. On Instagram. On Twitter is Don D205 on Twitter. Support him. Tell him that post sent you. Yeah, I want to talk about this. I've talked about it a little bit, but I want to talk about this 5.5 million players. 5.5 million players. I'm doubling down. I know a lot of y'all said, Poe, leave it alone. Leave it alone, Poe. Leave it alone. You're really making this a big. Yeah, I'm making it a big issue. 100%. Because I kind of feel attacked. I kind of feel attacked. It's like saying those people out there that's telling you one thing, they're lying to you. Instead of trying to fix their game and make it better, they're lying. They're making it sound more than what it is. But we adults, Ash, when it comes to sports games, do your research. Do your research, Ash Habib. Yeah, I'm addressing you now. Before I was trying to keep from addressing you directly, because I always defended you. I always defended Ash. When the community said things about Ash, I said, no, it's not Ash. Ash don't really know the industry. But no, I'm taking it's the gloves are off. Nah, Ash. For one, I feel attacked. You're lying, you're being deceptive to the community. You're trying to be deceptive to the community. We're grown folk. When they say 5.5 million people played the game, you got to show proof, Ash. Show proof. And we gotta look at people that played it. It's gonna keep popping up. Like, say I played the game today. Then I put the game down. Then I go back and play the game. All of that start adding up. So what are you saying? Oh, you got people that played the game one time. What matters the most is people that's playing it now. The retention. That's what makes the difference. That tells you how successful your game really is. Not 5.5 million people that saw it. I walk out the door every day, and I'm pretty sure probably hundreds of people saw me. But what does that mean? Nothing. Nothing. It's not putting money in my pocket. So it's some deception going there. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Is it fact? No. What Ash saying is not facts. 5.5 million players. Prove it. Prove it. My thing is prove it. Show us the data. That's why I keep asking for a survey, a third-party survey. This kind of proved my point about if they created the survey, they will frame it and they will manipulate it. I'm talking to y'all like a grown-up, like an OG, like y'all like to say. From experience. Experience. Why does experience mean something? Like, I'm going to use this example. You've been playing, let's say you know all about Grand Theft Auto. You know everything about Grand Theft Auto. And let's say you're 12 years old. Let's just say you're 18 years old. You've been playing, you played every game. You made it your duty to play every game. And I never played it. So your experience, no matter how old you are or what, trumps anything. Your experience trumps anything. So when y'all say certain things, y'all try to, what's up, Box Eye View? I appreciate you coming through. So when y'all try to say little slick stuff about somebody being older and stuff like that, no, I'm going off of experience. I've been playing video games, not every single day, because y'all love to use that. Oh, that's all this guy did was play video games all his life. No, I have jobs, I own businesses and everything. So no, cut the nonsense, because that's deflection. To me, When y'all start saying stuff like that, it's deflection. Salute to you, I'm precisely. Everything, like when I say things, it's deflection. When I'm in the Reddit, it's deflection. Oh, he's using Chat GTP. Yo, it makes no difference. When I relay stuff, it's what I say. I be saying these things verbally all the time. I'm not reading the script. I be saying these things verbally all the time. I'm not ignorant. I'm very intelligent. I went to a prestigious high school, and it's a college too. I went to the same school that Michael B. Jordan went to, and many stars went to. I went to an art school. It's called Arts High. I'm very talented. I can write. I can draw. And I could do some acting if I wanted to. I'm very talented. And I boxed. So by trying to, because when I talk on all these different social medias, there's always people that try to attack you for attacking what a game is. That's like, I'm gonna give y'all one of y'all. That's like, let me see who I'm gonna use. It's like I'm gonna use Floyd, even though a lot of y'all don't like Floyd. It's like a lot of y'all don't like Floyd, but you cannot take away that he knows boxing. And why would I attack Floyd Mayweather if we was conversating? Why would I attack him? When I'm around people that know more than I do, I humble myself. I want to learn. But the thing about this community and in life, this generation and the two generations, I'd say this generation and the generation before this one, they attack the adults. They attack the elders. Every adult is not your enemy. Everybody that's older than you is not your enemy. I want the youth to be better than me. I tell my son every day, you supposed to be a better version than me. You supposed to be me times 2. And you will, and you get these people out in the street that doesn't have a father or a parent that would tell you, stop letting them put pressure on you like that. That's pressure. Man, shut up. You don't even have a parent. Shut up. You in a gang. Somebody putting pressure on you, kicking your butt every day. You scared of another man that's the same age as you, or another man putting pressure on you. But let me get back to what I'm talking about. People always attack people for knowing things, for experiencing things, having an opinion about something that they know. I can't help that I went through all these years of experience, that I was a part of the EA community in the beginning, in the very beginning. When they made that form for the Knockout Kings and Fight Night, I was there. When IGN made their forms for the boxing games, I was there. So I can't act like I do not know what I know. I can't act like I never boxed. I can't act like I didn't go through these experiences. But it's like people get angry and jealous and frustrated because of what you went through. That's crazy. My thing is, I want the best product ever. And my thing is, a company should be happy that somebody like me is saying what I'm saying. The boxers don't care. The actual boxers don't care. That's what frustrates me, and that's what gets me mad. Boxing is the only sport that doesn't support itself in a gang community. Boxing is the only sport. And then the boxers that want to be outspoken, they push out. Sonny Edwards wanted to be outspoken about how this game was made. Eddie Chambers, he want to be a part of the development of this game. If you don't know who Eddie Chambers is, do your research. Coach Anthony, he wants to be a part of this development of the game. But people find a way to attack somebody. And like I said a long time ago, I brought boxers into the EA forum. Fans start attacking them. Fans start attacking the boxers. They try to find a way, hey. They do that with stars. It's like on the internet, they find a way to attack certain stars. If you don't like somebody, why did you even communicate with them? Why did you even interact with them? To me, that's weirdo energy. Like people don't like Ryan Garcia. I don't like Ryan Garcia. I really don't. I used to, but I don't like Ryan Garcia. But people friend him. People will friend him just so they could argue with him. People don't like Tank Davis. They friend him just to talk about him. That makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. If you don't like somebody, why are you a friend of theirs? Why do you make yourself a part of their life? Like, I'm okay with people don't like me because of my passion. But I'm going to keep pushing because eventually, because when I make these shows, like I always say, it's not for Steel City because Steel City does not care about replicating boxing. That's how I feel. I'm not talking for them. That's how I feel. They are not trying to replicate boxing. They trying to give enough so they can say it's boxing. And they refuse to give people options. And people don't see that. And nobody's pushing us. We don't have a unified voice. All right, let me start. I'm gonna start. I was ranting too long. Let me start off with the show. All right. 5.5 million players or 5.5 million impressions. The optics versus reality conversation. Let me ask you something real for a second. When a company tells you 5.5 million players have played our game, what do you actually hear? Do you hear success? Do you hear validation? Do you hear proof that everything is working the way it should? Or do you stop and think, what does that really mean? Because today, we're not just talking about a number. We're talking about numbers are used to shape perception. We're talking about how numbers are used to shape perception and whether what we're seeing right now is really transparency or just optics. The surface level reaction. On the surface, 5.5 million sounds huge because you forget about the word player. You forget about the word player. You think of buyers. when he said 5.5 million players, you automatically think buyers. On the surface, 5.5 million sounds huge. Let's be honest about that. It sounds like a game is thriving. It sounds like the community is strong. It sounds like everything is moving in the right direction. But here's where things start to feel off. A lot of players are not experiencing it that way. You still see ongoing complaints, questions about authenticity, concerns about missing mechanics, and more people saying they don't trust what they're seeing. So now we've got two different realities. The number is saying one thing, the player experience is saying something else. And that gap, that's where the whole conversation lies. And that gap, that's where the whole conversation lies, right in the middle. The conversations is in the middle. What do they mean? The number is saying one thing, the player experience is saying something else. All right. Let's slow this down and get clear. When a company says players, that does not automatically mean copies sold. Full price customers or long-term users. Players can include free trials, subscriptions, access, people who played once and never came back, shared accounts, promotional access. So yeah, both things can be true at the same time. You could have around 1 million actual buyers and still say 5.5 million players. That's possible. But here's the issue. Even when something is technically true, it can still feel misleading depending on how it's presented. The real problem, what's missing? This is where it gets real. The problem isn't just what was said, it's what wasn't said. We didn't hear how many copies were actually sold, how many people are still active, how many people stayed with the game, how many people are actually satisfied. So now that one number, 5.5 million, is carrying the entire message. And that's where the problem starts. Because without context, a big number turns into a headline, a shield, a narrative. Timing matters. And this timing is loud. Timing matters. And this timing is loud. Now let's talk about timing. This number doesn't just randomly show up. It came out during complaints, skepticism, debates about authenticity. So now you have to ask yourself, why this number right now? Because when a company chooses to highlight reach instead of response, expose instead of experience, that's not random. That's a decision. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Nothing. All right. Give me a second. Optics versus transparency. Let's define this clearly so nobody gets it confused. Transparency looks like this. Here's how many copies were sold. Here's how many players are still playing, still active. Here's what we're fixing. Here's where we've missed. optics look like this. Here's the biggest number we can show. You figure out what it means. That's the difference. And right now, this feels a lot closer to optics. Is this deception? Let's be fair. Let's keep this fair and grounded. Is the number fake? Probably not. Is the way it's being used open? Is the way it's being used open to interpretation? Yes, because something can be completely true but still incomplete. And that's where trust starts to get shaky. The trust problem, the real issue. This go beyond one number. This is about trust because once players start asking, why are they showing this instead of that? Everything changes. Now every message gets questioned, analyzed, second guessed, and that's dangerous for any game, especially one that already has skepticism, divided opinions. Players saying they're going to wait before buying the next version. This is the thing that should scare Steel City real bad, extremely bad. This is going to hurt Steel City. Players saying they're going to wait before buying the next version. That is exactly what hurted Fight Night Champion. How do I know? Why do I know these things? Because I headed that. I was a part of that movement. Let's wait. Let's make them see that we need business. But that backfired on us. And fans would do it again. All right. The business angle. Why this happens. Let's take emotions out of it for a second and start at the business side. Business like this are used for investors. Told y'all that. Publishers. I told y'all that. Future deals. Exactly. Branding, positioning. Told y'all that. Steel City is becoming a branding and marketing. At this point, this is why they're doing everything that they're doing. They're doing everything what they're doing is branding now. 5.5 million players tells them this game has reach. This tells the investors, publishers, future deals, branded position. It tells this game. It tells the investors, publishers, and whoever that this game has reach, this IP has potential. But here's the disconnect. That message isn't really for the players. But here's the disconnect. That message isn't for the players. That message is for the stakeholders. The stakeholders, not the SEAK. The STAKE holders. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat before I go on. All right. Let me see how many people popped in. Please hit that like button to anybody that comes in here or they're here. All right. The hard questions nobody wants to answer. So here's the real question. If everything is going well, why not show retention? Why not show satisfaction? Why not show actual gameplay improvements? Why not show why lead with a number that, I don't got to use that. All right. Why lead with a number that needs interpretation? Why lead with a number that needs interpretation? That's what people are reacting to. Let me say this clearly. A big number does not automatically mean a great game. And a player count without context is not transparency. It's presentation. It's presentation. And who is presentation for? Investors. All right. So the real issue isn't whether 5.5 million is real. The real issue is this. Does that number reflect a healthy, authentic boxing experience? Or is it shaping how we're supposed to see it? Because at the end of the day, players don't stay because of numbers. They stay because the game feels right. This is a call to action. I want to hear from you. Do you trust that number? Does it match your experience? Or does it feel like optics? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. All right. All right, let me throw a real question out there. To the players who defend this game because they adapted to its mechanics. To the players who defend this game because they adapted to its mechanics. They assimilated. They assimilated to the game. Would you still be just as competitive, just as successful if the game actually played like real boxing? Would you still be just as competitive, just as successful if the game actually played like real boxing? That's not a shot. That's a real question, because there's a difference between learning a system and mastering a sport. Right now, a lot of players are succeeding because they've learned what the game rewards, not necessarily what boxing rewards. When mechanics are off, players adjust. They figure out what's exploitable, what's consistent, what wins. That's normal in any game. But here's where it gets tricky. If the system itself is flawed, then success inside the system doesn't always translate to real boxing logic. So now you've got players who are highly effective in game, but operate within rules that don't reflect the sport. The real test of a boxing game isn't can players win? Is how are they winning? Are they controlling distance like real boxers, managing stamina realistically, using angles, timing, and discipline? Or are they leaning on mechanics that wouldn't work in an actual ring? Because if it's the second one, then we're not testing boxing skills. We're testing system mastery. Some players won't like hearing this, but it needs to be said. If the game becomes more realistic, some of the current top players might struggle. Not because they're bad, but because the rules they mastered would change. And that's where you separate game skill from boxing understanding. Now, let's flip it. There are players out there who understand boxing deeply, but struggle in the current game. Why? Because the game doesn't fully reward what they know. So imagine if it did. Now the skill gap changes. Now the rankings shift. Now different players rise. So the real question isn't, are you good at the game? The real question is, would you survive? I mean, would your success survive a version of the game that truly respects boxing? Because if the answer is no, then what you're mastering isn't boxing, it's adaptation. Let me see. Be honest with yourself. If this game became fully realistic tomorrow, would you still dominate or would you have to relearn everything? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Give me a second, y'all. All right. Now I'm gonna talk about somebody I don't really talk about too much on the show. If I guess a couple of times, but I'm gonna talk about the world famous, infamous Will Kinsler. And I hate to do this. I hate to do it, but I got to do it because, like I said, I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down. Um, he's the director of authenticity. That's his title. To me, that's a made up title. It sounds like a title that you give somebody when you want to. It's like everybody gets a trophy type stuff. It sounds like a hey, just name it something and give them something. That's what it seemed like, and I'm not mad at it, but I'm mad at him for not making the game what it should be because he's so-called a guru of boxing. He's a so-called a guru of boxing. And I feel betrayed by Will. I kind of thought, not friends, but I thought we had like an understanding because we talked quite a few times. But I guess he doesn't know me, so he doesn't owe me anything. Whatever. All right. Let's get this straight. If your title is Director of Authenticity on a boxing game, then your job is simple to understand, even if it is hard to execute. The game should look, feel, and behave like boxing. The game should look, feel, and behave like boxing. And it partially looks like boxing. It partially feels like boxing. It doesn't behave like boxing. Not sometimes, not in flashes, not consistently. So the question has to be asked, did that actually happen? Did that happen in the game? Let me stop saying his name so much. Did Kinsler did Rax actually put that in the game? Because he has more influence than people keep giving him credit for. Ash really trusts Will. He literally showed it in that last post that he got. He made sure he bigged up Will first. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have. Man, shut up. Shut up. I'm doing my what's called impression. What's his name? No matter. It doesn't matter. All right. You know, it gets me a little upset sometimes when I think about it though, because I literally vouched it for this guy. I vouched for him. Then I got pushed out. I literally vouched for him. He cannot say I did not. He cannot say he talked for himself. He 100% cannot say, hey, I talked to him first. No, you didn't. Ash reached out to me before he even started talking to Will. Ash Habib reached out to me way before he started talking to Will. I told Ash about Will. Then I told Will about Ash. And then I merged them together. Then I got pushed out. No, you can't have Poe around you. Poe a troublemaker. Poe too outspoken. He wants too much. He's gonna stay on you about things. Poe actually won a realistic boxing. He really won a realistic boxing game. Where things fell off. Now let's talk about what players are actually experiencing. We got ongoing conversations about punches not feeling varied or true to real technique. Movement that doesn't always reflect weight, balance, and footwork. Limited or underdeveloped inside fighting and clinch work. Doesn't exist. All right. Questionable stamina and damage behavior. And when players bring this up consistently, that raises a serious question. Where was the authenticity filter? And when I say filter, I mean the person that's actually overseeing all this. Because these aren't small details. These are core parts of boxing. These are core parts of boxing. The disconnect. This is where the disconnect shows up. The game has been presented with language around realism and authenticity. But the experience many players describe doesn't fully match that. So now you've got two competing ideas: the intention of authenticity and the execution of the game. And when those don't align, people start questioning the role itself. When those don't align, we start questioning the role Wilkinson holds. We have to, because I try to be quiet about this, but I'm doubling down. I'm doubling down. It's going to get more and more. I'm doubling down more and more. I'm doubling down more and more. I want Steel City to bring out more stuff, more deflections, more marketing. Bring it. It just makes me want to do more. All right, accountability without overreach. Now let's be fair. One person doesn't build an entire game. There are technical constraints, budget limits, design trade-offs, team decisions. Now, let me break down all of these things that I just read. Technical constraints. Now, let's think about that. They have 3 studios. That right there. Right there. They have 3 studios. They're traveling all over the world. They're giving free free trips to content creators. Shouldn't have been invested in your game more than anything? Once you get your game the way it should be, then you start inviting people. Then you start doing all this extra stuff. They bought a building that they're not really using, barely using. So you're investing. They didn't buy the building, but bought space. But you're still investing money in properties. Budget limits. That's Ash fault. That's the team fault. They could have had an unlimited budget almost. But they quickly reached and grabbed them guys from the UK. But check it out. I know y'all don't want to hear this. The survey pushes the budget up. It makes the publishers, investors, the shareholders allocate more money to the game, to things that fans actually want. And it makes sense. Me as a businessman, it shows where your fans are, what your fans like. Design trade-offs. There are design trade-offs. That's by design. It ain't because they couldn't do it. A lot of this stuff is by design. Team decisions. But here's the reality. If your role is tied directly to authenticity, you carry visible. When you carry visibility when authenticity is questioned. You carry visibility when authenticity is questioned. Not total blame, but visible accountability. No matter who no, that's his position. No, it's his fault. No, your job title. Your job title puts the weight on you, no matter what you say. And to me, the way I feel about Will, 99% or 98% of things that go on is because of Will. Because Ash trusts Will. You know how I know Ash trusts Will? Because Will got all the EA guys in there. Why are all their hires EA guys? Why would Ash say in the beginning, before Will got there, before Will was a thing, I want my game to be the 2K of boxing? When me and Ash talked, he was talking, yo, I want EA to challenge me. He wanted them to challenge him. Because he knew, and he was talking about how they made bad decisions. So why would you grab people from a company that were making bad gaming decisions to put on your team? You know why he grabbed them people? Because of somebody on the team that was from EA at some point. And it's crazy because a lot of them guys that they hired were not there when those games were made. The real issue isn't whether direction of authenticity fell. Excuse me. The real issue isn't whether the director of authenticity fell. The issue is this: did authenticity lead development, or did it follow behind other priorities? Because if authenticity is truly leading, you should see it in movement, point selection, ring control, damage systems, AI behavior. It should be undeniable. Closing thoughts. Titles matter, especially when they set expectations. And director of authenticity sets a very high one. Director of authenticity sets a very high standard and bar. So if players are still asking, where's the boxing? Hold up. Where's the boxing? That question doesn't just land on the game, it lands on the role that was supposed to protect it. Let me ask you this. Do you feel like authenticity is clearly present in the game? Or does it feel like something that was promised but not fully delivered? Let's talk about it. Exactly. It was promised. We did not get authenticity. What did we get? Authentic clothing? And half of that clothes, or half of the clothing that they put in the game is generic. I think a lot of EA older games, EA Fight Night Round 4 and Champion gear looks better than the gear in Undisputed. Let me know if y'all think different. Let me know if y'all think differently. Let me see. 5.5 million downloads. 5.4 million. 99,400 refunds. The remaining 600 are still playing the game. 400 pure offline. 200 online. We modders. What's up, Envious? Appreciate you coming through. What's up, Boxing Lounge? Salute. I don't believe them stats. Me neither. What are the actual sales units figures? They're not going to tell us because it's. Let me see. Aaron said, you seen what I sent you. We need Brian Hayes. Dominique's. What's up, Dominique? He said, we need Brian Hayes. Or SCI needs Brian Hayes. Yeah, man. I wanted him to be in the game, man. I really did. I really wanted to be on the team. And I settled for Will Kinsler. I really wanted him to be on the team. If I know he was like in between transferring from one team to the next, because I was literally talking to him, and then he popped up and like let me know that he was moving to another team. I wish I could have like intervened and he been a part of Steel City. Man, because y'all really don't know how Brian Hayes think. Brian Hayes, the thoughts he be having, the injury. Like even when I was saying ideas, he liked a lot of my ideas. Brian Hayes was never against my ideas. You know who was against my ideas and who really thought I was a troublemaker? Will Kinsler. Raxzilla. Raxzilla did not really want to be bothered with me. He didn't really want to be part, but my thing is my character, because I'm a community-driven person. And the funniest thing is Rackzilla is not, I'm more of a community person than Rackzilla. That's why they were trying to make me a community manager at EA. I'm more of a community person. I literally talk to people. It was people in the community that was real rowdy, that were troublemakers. I literally talked to these guys one-on-one, behind the scenes, and they changed their way of thinking, their way of talking. And they've been productive people in the community. I made people in the EA forums at that time become boxing fans. A lot of them became boxing fans. It was so funny because someone was so big of boxing fans that they were hitting me with things that I didn't even know. And like I tell people, just because somebody boxes don't mean they know all of boxing history. Just because somebody boxes do not mean they know boxing history or they know every boxer. That's what I be trying to tell people. Let me see. Why did? Because of Will. I think it's more so Will and the team. I think the team was scared of me. I think they were scared of me because hey, we can't have that. We can't have that bear-looking guy in the on the team because he's look like he's gonna bully us. I can't see me as being a bully. I can't see me as anybody looking at me as a bully. I never bullied anybody. No, I can't lie about that. But I never to me, I never gave that impression. I never gave that impression. Now, when I was boxing, even in boxing, I never really bullied nobody. Say, yeah, I'm gonna knock you out and stuff like that. I'll look at them with a serious face or something like that. Even in boxing, I didn't do that. I think only one time they cheated me. They cheated me at a fight, and I had a rematch with this guy. And I looked at that joker, and I was like, yo, I said it's going down. I said it's going down. And I was telling my uncle, I said, I'm knocking them out. Everybody that I said I was because when I fight, I never on my mind have knocking somebody out. Because when you think that way, you go in there and you start unloading and you get yourself tired. So I don't think that way. But with these guys, because I say it's 3 guys that they took fights from because it was in their hometown. If it was close, they found a way, or the referee helped them out and stuff. So this guy, I told him, I said, I'm knocking you out. I'm knocking you out. He was 6'7". 6'7". I'm 5'11". He's 6'7". I knocked this guy out cold. I knocked him out. I told him I was knocking him out, and I knocked him out. They know you would have made them work so hard. I think SCI is just lazy. I think so too. I think they 100% lazy. It ain't no thinking about it. If I was comparing them, even though EA did not make the game that I wanted, they was always moving. They were always moving. And y'all say, how do you know these things, Poe? Stop taking up for EA. No, EA was always moving because they got guys working on 2 games at one time. Sometimes they had developers working on 2 games at one time, which is crazy to me. It was, to me, that's some type of slave trade type stuff. You working on 2 games at one time. And sometimes they were working late, working doubles. It was times that I talked to Brian Hayes, it'd be late at night. He said, I'm doing a double. Or I was talking to, what's her name? I forget her name. But she was like a secretary or something. She did something for the team. And I used to be talking to her all the time. She literally helped me get my, because I went back to school. So she helped me get my GED. I got my high school diploma. She like helped me. Shout out to you. I forget your name because it was so long ago, and you had that crazy name. But shout out to you. Appreciate you. Yeah, but people like that. The team it had good people on the team, but then they had some clowns on the team, like Jazz Bro. I don't know if any of y'all know Jazz Bro, but he's a clown. Maybe he's changed, but I'm calling him a clown from the time that I knew him. He might have changed. It's been years. But at that time, he was a clown to me. He the one that made Jazz Bro is one of the head developers who made Face Breakers, that boxing game that EA made. And they pulled them onto that team. And I was like, why y'all bring this guy on this team? Because his mentality was arcade. So they already had another arcade element in it. Their thing is they did not want anybody that's going to push them and stay on the team and somebody they think going to keep talking boxing all day long. And me, I would have been invited because I already had Ash a lineup of people that could have been on the team. One of the guys he already talked to. Because he's the guy that directed Ash to me. Brian Mazik. Brian Mazik, he's the one that said, hey, because Ash said he's been looking at my stuff, but he didn't talk to me. But Brian Mazik, literally, linked us up together. But Brian Mazik has a lot of boxing knowledge and intel. And the thing about him, he would have made a good fit on the team. He could have been on the team. Brian Hayes should have been on the team. Sonny Edwards should have been on the team. Eddie Chambers should have been on the team. I interviewed Eddie Chambers before when I used to have my early podcast. It was me, Mac Mitten. No, Mac Mitten, he popped in to ask a question. Mac Mittens, but it was me. Who was that? Was it Indigo? I don't know if it was Indigo 72 or PR guy. But we interviewed Eddie Chambers. We interviewed Jeff Mayweather. We was trying to build our channel. We was interviewing boxers, trainers, everybody. And we was trying to make for the best game. And people be thinking that I'm doing this for fame. Yeah, it was fun for what it was, but I never played it because I know it's hard to believe. Oh man, Dad, you don't play no arcade games. I couldn't play because my thing, I always felt like if I play it, I'ma like it, and then my mind gonna trick me to start thinking that's what everything should be. So I like that game. All I did once I saw what it was, because I 100% was going to support it. But then when I saw what it was, I said, "What the heck?" It turned out to be what's called. What game is like that? I forget the name of the game. I can't think right now. I hit a blank. I hit a brick wall real quick. But the old boxing games like that, Ready to Rumble. That's it. That's what it was like to me, Ready to Rumble. So, yeah, I never played it because I was like, I don't want my mind to be like, yeah, I start accepting what I see. If they presented that, and that's what Jazz Bro was trying to implement in the game. Yeah, Eddie Chambers, he said it. He wanted to be in the game and he wanted to be a part of the development, him and Coach Anthony. But it's like, and Coach Anthony, he literally saw Ash Habib at a event. And he told Ash Habib, hey, put my number in your phone, call me and let me know you got my number. He called him, let him know he got the number, but Ash did not talk to him. And it was this guy's name is Jim Trezone. He's good at tendencies and boxing knowledge. He wrote many books on boxers. And so that means to write books, that means you have to study. And he's a historian. So I was trying to get him on the team. And he was like, he said, Poe, he said, since you like for years, for decades, I've been a big advocate of what he was doing. And he's like, for you, he said, I'll do it. He said, I'm about to retire from, because he was doing like tech sim games and stuff like that. But he also write books and stuff. But he said, for you, I will be a part of the game. First, I was trying to get them on round for round, but round for round, they was messing around. So I was like, yo, I was telling Ash about him, and Ash discarded him. So they let somebody like him retire, and they're gonna let him pass away, and then they're gonna say, hey, let's get this guy that Poe was talking about. It's too late. You letting the guy age out and pass away. This guy is old. But he was trying to do it for me. I felt on, I was like, yo, he said he gonna do it for me. I said, yo. I said, you could have did it for yourself. No, I'm gonna do it for you. He said, this is like gonna be my last time like dealing with stuff like that. I would love for SCI to get Teddy Atlas on the team. Me too. I would too. 100%. It's so many people that wanted to be a part of this game and other games, and it's like they just all over the place. Joe Cortez supposed to be in the game. Y'all didn't know that. What's his name? Joe Cortez. It's a lot of referees and people that have been in this game. It's so many people that supposed to have been a part of this project, and it seemed like a certain person pushed them out. Like Sonny Edwards got nothing but time now. Why isn't he a part of Steel City team? Ryan Rhodes, even though he's not a gamer to me, why isn't he like saying certain things? Because their thing is, this is how a lot of them do it. And I know it's a slick thing that they do, being that they're on the team. And they try to say it to me. This because the developers, what's his name? Aimbot and like I think, yes, 3 more developers. They pulled me into a group. So they was trying to talk gaming knowledge. Like they said, Poe, you don't really know these things. And I'm like, why are y'all saying I don't know these things? Y'all assuming I don't know these things. They are assuming that I don't know these things. It's a lot of gaming lingo and knowledge that I know. Just because you don't see me hands on and all that, it doesn't mean I don't know these things. Even if I didn't know these things, you can look it up. Anything that you have a problem with, matter of fact, to the people that always like to challenge me, anything that you think can't be put in the game, look it up and ask, can it be put in the game? Anything that's in real life can be added in a video game. Anything that's in real life can be added in the video game. And then these developers got people thinking that slowed down gameplay is realistic. Fast gameplay is arcade. Gameplay is gameplay. It depends on how you fight, because a boxing match can be high pace or low pace. So stop saying realism is slow pace. That's not true. It's how you make that fight play out. It's how you make that fight play out. How you and your opponent make that fight play out. Stop letting them do that, because they're doing that on purpose. What's up, Lamont Davis? Appreciate you coming through. Lamont Davis in the house. I hope you and the family doing well, man. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, but when developers be doing that, and when I hear that, I know they're trying to be slick about it. they say certain things to be slick. Then when a person like me, it's like somebody speaking the language, but you don't understand the language. Me, I know everything that they're saying when they say certain things. Anything that we want can be put in the game. Even when they keep saying, well, it's not in our budget, we can't really do it. Oh, but you got the budget to get Muhammad Ali for what, I think, how many years? I think to 2036. That's a long time, but you got the money for that. In 2036, I'm going to be old. But you looking at people that's in 2036, they're not going to know who Muhammad Ali is. They're not going to really care about Muhammad Ali. I know it might be sad, but Muhammad Ali is not going to carry the same weight as having better mechanics in your game. Muhammad Ali is not going to carry the same weight as the game plays great. The game looks like boxing. The game plays like boxing. Not that I'm playing the game that is broken and I'm making it feel like it's playing right. That's what people doing now. They're working around y'all broken mechanics. Let me see. They don't got the money to fix the game, but they got money and the budget to go to the strip club. Exactly. Exactly. They got the money to go to strip club. They got the money to go to the Riyadh. They got the money to go to all of these boxing matches. Ash is like at every boxing match now. They got the money to set up at these boxing matches. They got the money to pay for it. They got 3 buildings. They got 3 buildings. I know y'all saying they don't own the whole building. All right. They got 3 spaces in 3 buildings, but they're paying rent for each space. They got developers, close to 100, if not 100, that they're paying. They're doing marketing. They got to pay for marketing. So all of this money that they're putting out there, but they're not investing it inside the game. They're not investing it inside the game. And that's where the problem becomes a thing. Let me see. Yeah, man, because it's a lot of people that could be on this team. I'll see a lot of developers. Like on my LinkedIn, I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn at least every day, probably like at least 2 or 3 times a day. Because I write articles for LinkedIn. And I'm on there looking at what's going on. I'm looking at the industry, what's going on within the industry. And there's a lot of talented people on LinkedIn that Steel City is not grabbing up. Epic just laid off half of their team. And I'm kind of thinking they're going to snatch up a couple of them guys that Epic let go. And guess who worked at Epic? Rackzilla, Will Kinsler. So he's going to get some of his colleagues in there. So he got some EA guys in there. Now he's going to get some Epic guys in there. Epic guys that worked on Fortnite. Fortnite guys working on a so-called realistic boxing game. So you're going to get Epic guys that worked on a so-called realistic boxing game. That's where it seems like there's going to be a problem. I don't know, man. I don't know about this company. I try to be supportive, and I try to Hope that they succeed. I hope that I want them to prove me to be a liar, and I really do. But I'm just seeing patterns. I look at patterns. Everything that I deal with is dealing with patterns. Like with EA, I saw that Fight Night Champion was not going to do well. I knew people were not going to buy the game. And I knew it. I said they're not going to buy it. I knew people was going to, they was going to do a wait and see. There was going to be a wait and see. But the wait and see hurt the game more than anything. And by me saying this, I think people are going to be like, Poe, we was going to do that. But since you say that, we don't want to make Steel City do the same thing. We don't want them to fail. But they could still fail by you supporting the nonsense, not pushing them to do better. By y'all not supporting the survey. Let me see how many people that signed the survey so far. Like I said, y'all ain't got to fill out my survey. Y'all can get Steel City to make a third-party survey. Let me see. I think I got 48 people. I'm trying to get that 100 mark. I'm trying to hit the 100 mark. If I can get 100 mark, that right there, that will catch developers' attention. That will catch a developer's attention. Yeah, 48 people filled out the survey so far, my survey. And 21 people, let me make sure. Because I like to look at my data instead of just assume. Assume. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. Yeah, let me. Let's see how many people fill out this. 21. Only 21 people trying to get 100, and all I got is 21. Let me see. Undisputed. Let me see. Undisputed has to be better, or they'll be completely done. Yeah, 100%. Lamont Davis said SCI got the nerve. That's why Undisputed 2 will be the same with a different engine. That's what I'm thinking. They're gonna have to really prove. But people, what's gonna hurt them is people gonna do the wait and see. See if they would have fixed this game before they moved on, or they would have made it playable, more playable than what it is, people wouldn't question what Undisputed 2 is going to be. At least Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk is making another game. At least Cyberpunk went back and fixed the game. They went back and fixed the game. But we don't, a lot of people's like, Poe, stop slandering Steel City. Stop slandering. No, I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit up here and act like the game is great. So, because if you keep acting like nothing wrong with the game, why should they fix it? Why should they fix anything? Why should they like go the extra yard to make the game better? And that's the problem. People got to stop, and fans got to stop enabling. Stop enabling. They got to stop enabling SCI. All right. At what point does support turn into enabling? Because right now, something feels off. We've got players raising real concerns about mechanics, authenticity, and direction. And then you got another group saying it's fine. It's their first game. It'll get better. Just be happy we have a boxing game. But here's the question nobody wants to sit with. Is that support or is that lowering the standards? What enabling actually looks like. Enabling doesn't always look negative. Sometimes it sounds positive. It sounds like give them time, stop complaining. Your expectation, you're expecting too much. But what it actually does is remove pressure, lower expectations, delay accountability, delay accountability, delay accountability. And in-game development pressure matters because pressure is what forces improvement. The only boxing game trap. Let's address the biggest excuse directly. It's the only boxing game we have. That might be true, but that doesn't mean it should be immune to criticism. It should define the standard. It should get a pass or court on core issues. If anything, being the only game means the standard should be higher. The standard should be higher, not lower. The long-term consequence. Here's where this really matters. If a company sees strong defense from fans, acceptance of flawed mechanics, minimal pushback, what incentive do they have to go deeper? What incentive do they have to go deeper? To take risks, to invest more. This is the key things right here. To take risks, to invest more, to rebuild core systems. Because from their perspective, the product is being accepted. Unintentional defense. And let's be clear about something. A lot of fans aren't trying to defend the company. They're just enjoying what they can, trying to stay positive, protecting something they waited years for. That's human. But unintentionally, that can still send the message this is good enough. Constructive versus passive support. There's a difference between supporting a game and holding it accountable. Real support sounds like I see the potential, but this needs to be better. The system doesn't reflect boxing. This system doesn't reflect boxing. This mechanic needs work. That kind of support actually helps a game grow. Passive support. Just keep it where it is. Let me say this clearly. Criticism is not hate, and acceptance is not always support. If fans want a truly authentic boxing experience, they can't just defend what exists. They have to demand what's missing because companies don't just respond to praise. They respond to pressure. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Y'all hit that like button. I'm about to end the show. And I usually do Q&As, but I ain't gonna do no Q&As today. I'm about to end the show. I appreciate everybody that came through. I'm happy Lamont Davis came through. He had time. I know I dipped into your family time, but I appreciate you anyway. Shout out to Dominique for coming through. I appreciate you, my brother. Shout out to Tezzy Williams. Appreciate you. Let me see. Shout out to who came through. Shout out to Boxing_Lounge. Shout out to Precisely. _1. Appreciate you. Did Leafy come through? Shout out to Box Out View. Shout out to Leafy. Leafy be boxing. Shout out to AJ Pax. Shout out to everybody that support me. I appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that came through. I appreciate all of y'all. Shout out to Don D205. Let me see. Shout out to the Wishlist Mafia. Shout out to Papanosis. Shout out to Mac Mittens. Shout out to, shout out to all of y'all, man. PR guy. Shout out to Indigo 72. Shout out to the whole crew. Until the next show tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.